Welcome back to the 2018 JRDA World Cup live from the Sportsplex in Feasterville, Pennsylvania. I am Scott Chicken.
And I'm Deathnella.
That you are, and you are about to watch the championship game, USA West, USA East. It's been a long weekend, Deathnella.
Sure has. First of all, we're on game 22 of the World Cup.
That's just the World Cup.
That's just the World Cup. We had 3 days of JRDA championships before that, and so many of the skaters you're about to see, Team USA West, Team USA East, involved in those high-level championship games.
It was crazy. We had two 10-team brackets, one on this track, one on the track behind us where they're hockey playing right now, and where the photographer guy is waving at us.
Hi, Andrew Keys.
He's like, I'm going to get on as many pictures. I'm usually behind the camera.
Yes.
I want to get in front of it.
Yes, always wearing black, so he just sort of, I guess, blends in, but not really with the white background.
All right, so we're going to read off the rosters, the full rosters for the team, not just the skaters. We want to give credit to all of the skaters that have been made to these teams. These are the top skaters as picked by the coaches from these regions. Fire it up with USA West. Or East, how about? East is what that says right there, right?
Yes, it sure is. So we'll start with number 2, Princess Sleia. Number 7, H. Dubinsky. Number 09, Rogers. Number 9, Dragonfire. Number 13, Sugar Cookies. Number 22, Connor. 25, Smacklemore. Number 28, Bonnet. Number 62, Hernandez. 90, Hot Wheels. Number 101, Cantrell. Number 106, Unstoppable. 110, Little Miss Perfect. 120, Evil Apple. It's your captain, number 171, Gilman. Number 206, Road Rage. We have Capozzi. Number 248, Ruckus. 333, that's Triple Threat. Number 620, Glisten. 731, Enigma. 817, Boomerang. And 999, Martin. And 1031, Floppy Joe. And your coaches for Team USA East, we have Coach Rojo Grande, Coach Teflon Donna, and Coach Quick.
And their opponents on West, you just saw them warming up in the red jerseys. A very long roster. Number 03, Dizzy Izzy. Number 10 is Revis. Number 12, Ambush Ash. 13, Psychotic Angel. 15, Threatening Thunder. Number 16, Juke Skywalker. Number 17, Turbo Charge. Number 18, Global Storming. Number 20 is Thrasher. 23, Constant. Number 27, Lethal Ivy. Number 35, A. Dodd. Number 38, Pedal to the Metal. Number 42, Mount Crushmore. Number 54, Amazing. 063 is Bumper Car. Number 71, Sunny Days. 79, Lil Regulate Her. Number 89, Speed Bryu. Number 99, Paterson. 100 is M. Norberg. 244, Tribal Terror. Number 362 is Twiggy. Your captain for this game, number 411, M. Dysart. 700, Toad Jammer. Number 710, Brazilian Smacks. 816 is Mousetrap. 911, M. Reed. And number 5150, Alligator. They are coached by Coach Scarlett, Coach Luna, Metalface Chaz, and Coach Corey.
And speaking...
52 seconds. We did it in time.
Wow, amazing, Scott
What
Chicken.
do you know?
I do want to take that time, if that's okay, to
Please
talk
do.
about Coach Quick on Team USA East.
Yes.
He has just announced to his team that he is retiring as of this World Cup. So this is his last
last hurrah.
Coaching, and he would have told his team just before this game. So we'll see what they can do in honor of their coach who's been by their side, and an incredible force this entire World Cup.
That is true. And Team East has 5 skaters who are also aging out. USA West with 3. These teams representing 11 teams each. 11 teams from the East and 11 teams from the West, making up these joint teams for USA West and East. Each team rolled into the final of the pool play last night. Undefeated. USA West coming out the lead by about, 10 points? It was
9.
a very
it was
9
points.
Super close.
That's 2 scoring passes right there.
That's not a lot. Not a lot of scoring passes.
And of course, that was just the first half. We only saw 30 minutes of play. So today we get the full 60-minute regulation game.
And it is going to be, I'm guessing, some sort of barn burner. We can only hope.
And the best part is fans in the venue here in Feasterville, Pennsylvania, sticking around. Of course, this is a big game. We just saw Canada clinch bronze in the World Cup.
I'm sure you were unofficially cheering for them. You weren't on the call. You were allowed to cheer.
For once, I just got a chance to watch, and it really was an honor to see that.
They are now announcing the retirement of Coach Quick.
And we're seeing a standing ovation here at the venue, and deservedly so. He was getting emotional, Scott, when he came and told me about this announcement he was going to make.
He's been a part of Junior Derby in the central part of the country for quite some time.
And Junior roller derby especially, you're building the future of the sport. So to be a coach and to be held in such esteem is incredible.
All right, we are lining up for our first jam as the scorekeepers and refs. Let's mention some refs, shall we? Our skating referees for this game. BMD, Judge Double Wapner, Sir Lancelot, Strapping Youngbeard, Honey Badger, Ref Metal, Scrim Reaper, and TIE Fighter.
And we will get to our NSOs in just a moment, but it does look like the whistle will be blowing for the gold medal game.
Yes, Global Storming set to jam against Triple Threat. Global Storming for USA West, Triple Threat, USA East. And Global Storming on to the penalty box, cuts the track right out the gate. Power jam USA East, and Triple Threat with lead.
Yes, he was able to make quick work there on the outside, but coming up against Bumper, who is aging out, and he is showing his veteran years in JRDA this entire tournament.
Yeah, Bumper Car playing for the Diamond City Miners out of Bakersfield, California, winning the JRDA Open Division Championships.
And that's the call. They're opting for a power start to start the next jam. We're also seeing on our Twitch chat, thank you for chatting with us, that one of Coach Quick's children says, "I'm so proud of my dad, I could cry." Well, there's quite a few people tearing up in the stands, but right now, back to all that action, Scott.
Yes, we got number 18, Global Storming, standing in the penalty box, but fresh to be released as 620 Glisten with the star for Team East. Glisten also playing in both the female and Open Division Championships over the weekend. And Glisten, nice lane opened up on the inside, out very quickly. USA East making a bit of a statement with their first couple of jams.
A familiar feeling for Glisten. She's jammed, I don't even want to know how many. Lead as well, picking up 5 points there for that effort.
And Global Storming out of the penalty box, sort of rolling through Toe Jammer on his way out the front, but you're allowed to knock your own team down, I guess, if they get in the way.
Well, he added a little bit of flair on that apex. Oh! And he also apexed right again. We'll see if that counts for
1 point up for Team US West.
Well, he'll take it, clapping there. And of course, if you're following at home, we do know that a number of people are joining us live, obviously, but also new to Derby. And so in order to score, you must pass your opponent's hips. So it might look like you've passed somebody, but if you haven't passed your opponent's hips, you're not getting that point.
And similarly, as we saw yesterday, if you take a big shoulder to the upper chest and you fall backwards, but your hips shoot forward, you get the points.
Oh, okay.
Maybe not the way you want to.
We have Threatening Thunder out there for USA West.
And that is Unstoppable jamming for Team USA East. Unstoppable from the Philly Roller Derby. Threatening Thunder with Seattle Derby Brats Galaxy Girls.
Came in second in the female division at 2018 JRDA champs.
That they did. Thunder and Unstoppable both recycled on opposite sides of the pack. Thunder to the outside. Unstoppable in the infield, but Unstoppable through 3 straight lead jams for Team USA East.
Getting plenty of support there by number 244 on Team USA West. That's Tribal Terror.
And Unstoppable calls off the jam. Only 1 point, but maintaining the scoreless or the low-scoring streak for Team USA West. Almost said scoreless, but they got one in the last jam.
One thing I need to mention, Scott, before we head into the next jam.
Yes, please do.
Yesterday, what we saw in those 30 minutes of play is plenty of penalties, and that's what really sucked the energy out of some of the momentum that these teams were gaining. So perhaps we'll see a repeat of that, or perhaps we'll see them learning from those mistakes.
So we got number 10, Revis, jamming for the first time for USA West, and number 1031, Floppy Joe with the star. But first, an official timeout. Oh, see, I'd say it's an official timeout, and then he stops it.
Well, not quite. I do see Coach Luna asking for a medic there. I'm not sure entirely what happened, and I don't know if there will be an official review. In roller derby, you are allowed to challenge a call or a non-call from the referee crew.
But we are back underway. Official timeout over. And we've got Floppy Joe caught up at the back. Revis pushing to the front. One blocker to beat as 2 more. Waterfall to the front. Revis swings around the outside. First lead jammer. Team USA West, Floppy Joe.
Not to be outdone. Floppy Joe with a star stash.
taking off the star and tucking it away. Pivot for Team USA West heads to the penalty box. That was number 79, a little regulate her.
Little regulate her. Just force out there. Her signature move I've noticed is just knowing exactly how to hit that block, the jammer out, drag her back, and then pop back to try to force that cut. She's so quick.
She gets, again, as you mentioned, the hips. You get that little booty pop out the back, and you can catch people.
And we've got
number 17 jamming for US East, or West rather, and 206.
I believe that's Turbocharge. I recognize that number and that steely-eyed gaze off the jammer line.
Yes, Turbocharge for the West. Road Rage jamming for Team East.
Oh, but he almost does a little roll off to the penalty box on a low block call. This is a power jam for Turbocharge. Although no lead assessed, there was a no earned pass, or rather no pass, no penalty, as we might know it as well.
Either way, still means no lead, and that gives us a 2-minute jam for the first time in the game. Turbocharged, almost doing a disco move, but he could not maintain.
Look at that physical blocking there between Tribal Terror and Boomerang.
And
knocked out.
Speed Bryu with the shoulder check. As Tribal Terror trying to find room anywhere on the outside, nothing doing. And finally, out the front, Turbocharged with 4 points.
Getting some support there on Team USA East by number 09 Rogers.
Turbocharged again impacting the back of the packs, and Road Rage hops out to complete the initial pass. Team USA East fans on the far side of the track going crazy.
We still have 50 seconds left in this jam as well. We're going to see both jammers engaging in turn 3 there.
Yes, no chance to call it off as we have no lead. Road Rage spins through, cuts the track. A second jammer penalty.
Wait a minute, no, because Turbocharge is also going to the penalty box. It's going to be a quick switch out, Scott.
This is insanity. One jammer enters, the other jammer leaves, and the jammer that comes in second sits the same amount of time that the first one did, so a very quick turnaround on the power jam. We've got 3 blockers on the track, now 4 on the track for US East, 2 for West. Turbocharged, insane hopping over the pack. I can barely keep up with what's going on. USA West at 12-4 lead at this point in the jam.
Well, now we're seeing the pack speeding up, Scott.
Yes. And finally calling off.
And what an attempt to try to save their points there. Of course, if the jammer can't catch up to you, they can't pass you.
So looking like a 0-0 final pass, 12-4 overall, 18 USA East, 15 West.
I'm sorry.
The Indy fanning off is absolutely accurate.
We're only going into jam 6.
I'm exhausted from the weekend, and now we got this to deal with? Crazy talk.
Wow.
Global Storming jamming for the Team West, number 18, back to 333 triple threat as we roll up to the same lineup as jam number 1. And Coach Teflon asking a little question.
And that's allowed.
Hey, what's up?
Of course, the period clock will stop at any time there's an official timeout. And when there's a team timeout, teams get a 1-minute timeout, 3 of them in a bout.
And each have 1 official review. If you, as you mentioned earlier, you can question any call or request a penalty to be assessed. If you win your official review, you get to retain it.
And we see some discussion there between Triple Threat and one of his strong blockers there, Enigma. Enigma skating with Des Moines in the open division for the 2018 JRDA champs.
Des Moines coming in second in the open division, I believe, right?
Yes, and that's what I'm talking about, Scott, is all of these skaters just came off of a wild weekend of derby. What, 3-4 games apiece?
Exactly, depending on your bracket. Yep, 3 games there, and then you play 5 half games yesterday, and these teams have each played 2 games today.
And we see the crowd getting ramped up there by the in-house announcer, Gretchen Little, who's done a fabulous job all weekend long. Big USA contingent here along the track, even a little tiny one with a Boomerang shirt on, so a Boomerang supporter.
Oh, that is the cutest baby wearing a jersey ever. Unfortunately, we don't have a camera at the right angle to catch baby Boomerang.
Oh.
Jam is underway, however. Global Storming as a forearm penalty, sending Triple Threat to the penalty box. Global Storming out with the lead jammer and a power jam, only the second lead jammer of the game for Team West as we're on jam number 5.
We've seen this. Oh, big apex jump by Global Storming. Picks up 5 points. Of course, you get that 5th point because that jammer is in the box and you're lapping them by.
That was a nice little hip check on the outside. I believe that was number 110, Lil Miss Perfect, with the perfect block and a cut track penalty as well.
So we're going the full 2 minutes just as Triple Threat is released from the box. No stop in the derby action here.
And this is our second 2-minute jam in a row as Triple Threat completes the initial pass. 5 points up so far for Team West, but Triple Threat on the power jam.
And both packs at 3 blockers apiece right now.
And we've got the blocker standing for US West, 5 points up for Triple Threat and US East.
Speed Bryu out first to join the West blocking line, and there comes Global Storming.
Global Storming ramping up, and again goes airborne. This time lands it out of bounds, has to wheel back to the infield to avoid the cut track penalty.
Swing and a miss, but what a big risk, and the crowd loves it.
Crowd does like some jumping, and these boys in these teams will certainly reward the jumping.
We're hearing that Global loves it in the air. Certainly seems that way.
That it does. Triple Threat now 10 points on the jam, stretching out. USA East scored at 28. US West sitting at 20.
Look at that solo blocking by Dysart.
And 4 points up for Triple Threat. 14 on the jam. Global Storming caught at the back of the pack as time runs out on the jam. Deathnella, that was insane.
Wow. What a jam for Team USA East, and West. East collecting 14 points, West with 10. Those back-to-back penalties, flip-flopping penalties, if you will.
Yes.
Really livening things up. The Twitch chat also taking note that I knew this would be an interesting game. Interesting might be an understatement.
Just a touch. Threatening Thunder back with the star for Team USA West. Glisten set to jam for USA East. And thanks to Tool Time for his wonderful production work getting us those numbers. And Glisten looking left to right, bounced out of bounds. Threatening Thunder rolled behind the pack.
That Tribal Terror causing trouble up at the front of the pack. Every jam he's out there.
Tribal Terror from the Cherry Bomb Brawlers out of Spokane, Washington, one of 2 skaters from that team. The Tribal Terror thinks there was a cut. The referee saying, no, sir, your foot rolled out of bounds. And a cut track penalty assessed to Threatening Thunder. 3rd straight jam with a jammer penalty for Team West. So a power jam, but not lead yet for Glisten as the pack was emptied of USA East skaters for a minute there.
Where are they? It's all red out there.
They were all coming to or going out of the box. We've got 2 blockers currently in the box for East, 2 blockers on the track, and Glisten is not through as she cuts the track. That foot just rolling over. Oh, it's being overruled.
Okay,
never mind. A no pass, no penalty then.
And this is why we have multiple officials out there with vantage points so they can see everything that's going on. What might look like a cut to some is all good otherwise.
So Thunder now back out of the penalty box and approaching the back of the pack. Still, I believe, on the initial pass.
Tribal Terror having way too much fun out there. Hand in the air, dragging back Glisten.
And Speed Bryu rolling to the back as well, and Thunder finally completes the initial pass with 28 seconds remaining on the jam. Glisten rolled back again as Thunder approaching on the scoring pass. Now Glisten is very likely has some points in the cap, won't be awarded until she emerges from the front of the pack. If you're new to roller derby, you get the points for everyone you pass, but they're not awarded until you're out or the jam ends. And Threatening Thunder swings the hips around number 101, Ari Cantrell, to grab 5 points.
We do have a penalty on number 731, Enigma, 14 East. And I just want to touch on those penalties, Scott. I know it was a big jam there, a lot of action. But the one thing to take note of is that the blocking by these teams is so effective that even when there's 2 of them out there to the other team's 4, they're
still stopping people
to hold the jammer. And these jammers are also seasoned, I will say seasoned veterans of the junior roller derby world.
Yeah, we've got skaters on this team, these teams that have been skating for 7, 8, 9, maybe even 10 years in some cases, and they're only 17 or 18. The top age, 18 in this tournament, because you have to be under 18 before September 1st, or you can't play in the JRDA competitive season. Number 10, Rivas jamming against Unstoppable. Rivas pushing towards the front. Unstoppable tiptoeing on the inside edge, but Rivas lead jammer.
And right now, the Pack's trying to figure out where they want to set up. There is a track cut called on the west pivot Dysart.
And Bumper Car also reporting to the penalty box, so only 2 blockers on the track for Team West. Oh, Dysart waved off. Oh, because there were already 2 in the box. We got these people standing in the way. So
we've been seeing the penalty parties, is what I like to call them, which is not great. But as I mentioned, Scott, these blockers stand alone so strong. But really, what we've also seen, look at how close the points are at this time.
Yes, 2-0 run on that last is 32-36.
And we have an official review by USA East. So what's going to happen is the coaches will confer, and then the referees will talk.
And then they'll hopefully tell our...
There's our shot.
There's the baby. You just can't see the back of the shirt. Very cute child. I like the dad and the kid both have the same hairdo. Oh, turn it around, turn it around. There we go.
It
There's
says
baby
future
Boomerang.
blocker. It's like he knew. Oh, that's so cute. I'm freaking out over here. Okay.
Death Knell is getting emotional, y'all.
So emotional. It's been 5 days of Derby, and it's the last call. Oh. So, yes, we're sitting at a 4-point difference. Remember, yesterday, Scott, after 30 minutes of play, only 9-point difference. And those penalties are going to be important. There were a few foul outs yesterday when we had only 4 maximum fouls.
Today we've got 7 total penalties before the foul out, but that's over another 30 minutes of play. So technically, you almost got 1 extra penalty yesterday than you would today.
And what we're hearing on the Twitch chat is, I'm on a fake Oh, sorry, that's not what I wanted to read.
What were you saying?
Wanted to read that they've been watching Tribal and Global for years, and it's great to see them at this level. It is great to see all these skaters at this level, Scott. And I really hope that for those 8 skaters who are aging up, that we're going to just continue seeing them on the world stage, in the North America stage, wherever they want to skate.
Yes, Dysart, one of those that will be aging up. Also from Team USA West, we've got Bumper Car and Ambush Ash aging out this year.
And then for Team USA East, we have Dragonfire, Gilman, your captain, and Ruckus, and Triple Threat. I know Ruckus is not skating, not rostered to play on this, but we did want to mention that.
That we did.
And there we see we see the decision of the official review being delivered. We will get that information to you momentarily. Calling for a blocker a block out of bounds, rather. But
I do not see anyone rolling. It sounds like the no call will stand as no one else is in the penalty box. So East's official review.
And it looks like Dysart's trying to get a full start call on one of the Team USA East blockers. Did not work there, but...
You know, sometimes you just got to try and get an extra penalty on someone. Turbocharged jamming against Floppy Joe. As Turbocharged forced out of bounds, bumps back in as there was no run back. Dysart now reports to the penalty box as Speed Bryu is
released.
Look at
that. Only blocker out there is Speed Bryu holding up Road Rage, or rather Floppy Joe.
And doing it just long enough for Turbo to grab a lead. Now Toe Jammer released from the penalty box. Turbocharged swings around the outside.
That was Road Rage, actually. That's what
was it? All right.
I'm so used to their faces now. I know that sounds crazy, but after calling for 5 days, you sort of get to know every player's style. Road Rage.
You're right. I had the number down wrong.
Road Rage, of course, on Saturday going down with an injury, and today and yesterday back in play, a stunning comeback with massive multi-scoring jams.
And we have got
Floppy Joe.
Global Storming, yes, jamming against Floppy Joe. Now we've got the right hand Global Storming, steps right through the middle. I don't even know how that's possible, but the kid's got long legs. What can we say?
No kidding. The blockers hadn't even reached the pivot line yet. We have Floppy Joe working his way. Oh, big jump by Global Storming.
That kid, as they said on the Twitch earlier, likes to be in the air. 5 points up. Global Storming on that lap as Floppy Joe exits the pack. Global Storming almost not quite an axle. He's trying to call out. He's like, am I good? Am I cool? I got my foot. I didn't go back in bounds and come out. I just landed and I tapped the hips.
Some official confusion there.
I think there was 4 points up for East. I am seeing.
We're calling for an official timeout there.
And there are 3 points up for Global Storming being reported on that last pass.
And sometimes what can happen is they don't do the call because perhaps either they've seen a penalty or someone else has seen it. And, of course, if you get penalized as the jammer and your lead, you lose lead. You can't get it back.
You can't call off. Yes, they don't want an early call off that will then be protested and could affect the flow of the play. But in this case, if he's trying to call it off early and not give up those points. So I think that may be why the official review is coming from Team West.
I thought you were singing.
This could be the classic old, I would like to review the points that were awarded.
Yes, it could be that too. And that's where, as we mentioned, you have your outside pack refs who get that outside vantage of the pack. They are looking from that point of view. And then we have the inside, your head ref who's able to associate or rather determine the pack where it's spread out. And your jammer referees, how could I forget those?
Can't forget them. They're the ones watching the jammers. We did see Coach Luna there from Team USA West gesturing with the hands at the hips. So clear, I believe, my interpretation of the sign language, he was tapping his hips to call off the jam. We shall see
what the decision
was. And over on Twitch, we're seeing someone saying, oh, it was a cut, and someone else saying foot was out, but he had not tried to reestablish position.
Instead opting to make that call. Let's run down our NSO list quickly.
Yes,
that's our
do.
non-skating officials. Stat in the Hat, Pinky and the Brawn, Accidental Doll, D. Baggins, Obi-Wan Kenobi, David Reed, Barney Trouble, Guacamole, and Mia Culprit.
And to answer the Twitch chat question from Netoled or in through Netoled, I can't read it from here because it's
Is
too far
that
apart.
strapping young beard I see?
Yes, that is. That is indeed.
It's hard to miss him. He does have a strapping beard. I don't know if the beard is young or he is young or...
Or it's all a young package put together. One of the two. That is also young TIE fighter skating over to the announcer table. But you can't see him on the camera so it's really a pointless thing for me to say that that's somebody that's off screen.
Well, who he's referring to is the youngest official by far, but he has 3 years of experience.
I know.
I spoke to him. He has officiated some really high-level, especially JRDA tournaments and events.
There's young TIE fighter skating around to the other side. He's the alt ref, I believe, for this, as he's coming back to the chair.
Wearing black, so he'll be recording those challenges.
We will, if we get a shot of Al B on the camera later, he's got a light-up mohawk thing. He would like a hashtag war to see whether he wore it better than TIE Fighter.
Oh, we'll see. Okay, Red lost their official review.
So, again, could have been the points, but they did not retain. Triple threat pushing to the front. Dizzy Izzy holding down the pivot spot at the front of the pack. Threatening Thunder trapped at the back of the pack, and an out-of-play block sending the blocker that was running, number 101, Ari Cantrell. And please go ahead.
Yeah, a big spill there by Threatening Thunder on number 09.
And out the front, triple threat. U.S. West with a lead change at that last jam point with 42 points, 40 for Team USA East, but that will change with this pass, although how it goes by the end of the jam, only time will tell. Threatening Thunder still on the initial pass, tries to find room on the inside. 8-17, Boomerang with the hip check out.
Oh, but she gets by. Boomerang will not be bringing her back.
5 points up for Triple Threat. Triple Threat hits the pack again, calls off the jam on 2 more. Up 47-42. And Defnella takes a deep breath to try to relax.
I'm trying to calm my heart down. We have USA East 47, USA West 42. I have no skin in this game, of course. It's just thrilling roller derby. And I'm seeing on the Twitch chat, too, that some people don't have a favorite. They are just here to watch the derby.
Let's just cheer for derby. And we're through the first quarter now, 14 minutes, 10 seconds to go. Rivas with the star against Glisson. Glisson for the East, Rivas for the West.
Rivas choosing to go on the outside, pushing up against Enigma. And it works by switching to the inside. Oh, but he takes a big spill on Gilman. Still gets lead. He managed to stay inbounds.
Only that one hand going out. And that counts for 3 points of contact inbounds, I guess is how you would refer to it. Rivas edged out of bounds and Glisson involved. So Rivas is going to just stand and wait.
She's doing the
Glisson
old...
is trying to dingo young Rivas, but the pack says, perhaps we'll catch up to you instead.
Yeah, and she doesn't want to get I'm going to say swallowed back by the pack, because then she has to fight through it again.
Exactly.
So she does want to stay in front, and that worked out in Rivas's favor.
And it also worked out in Team West's favor, as that allowed Mount Crushmore to get out of the penalty box. Mount Crushmore was standing when that bit began.
And that'll be
Rivas.
4 points for Rivas. He was holding up.
He was holding up 2, because I think he wasn't sure who the 2 were that he passed the first time. You at least have to pass each blocker once.
So
and if you pass them once, you pass them again, you still only get 1 point.
Incredible awareness there. And you know what, Scott? I've seen that move a number of times in Champs and in World Cup, the old drag back knockaround. It doesn't always benefit you. It just looks kind of fancy and causes some confusion. But in this competition, with this high level of skaters, we're not seeing it being an advantage to anyone.
Not at all. Global Storming jamming against Unstoppable for Team USA East. Unstoppable not stopped but nudged out of bounds briefly. And now being slowed, and Global Storming to the penalty box. That was an out-of-play block or illegal hitting penalty. And a lead jammer.
And we do have Hot Wheels there assisting for Team East. Oh, but Bumper Car bumps up against Boomerang, throwing Unstoppable out on turn 1. Well, not out. He managed to stay inbounds, now fighting through the rest of those West blockers in a bridge. Coming up against Toe Jammer.
Yes, Unstoppable bumped out. Did go down, as you said. May have rolled out of bounds, but the 2 blockers that he hit went down as well.
Look at that bridge. It went all the way from turn 2 to turn 3, and then Unstoppable gets knocked out by Toe Jammer.
And rolled back by number 12, Ambush Ash, all the way to the top of turn 1. Ash now teaming up with Bumper Car at the back of the jam. Norberg is bridging Toe Jammer at the front, and Toe Jammer again, just the angle.
Although Boomerang able to stop her from getting any further ahead, although once again we're seeing that, wow, what an effort by Unstoppable. 5 points.
Finally clear on 5 points, but a 5-point pass and a power jam. I think any coach will be happy with that.
And a big hit there by Unstoppable. Didn't feel like messing around that time.
No, 4 more up for Unstoppable, and 1 point awarded to Global Storming off of the power jam. So 47-56, US East in the lead with 11 minutes to go.
We were being asked on the Twitch chat about what they're chanting. I believe it's "Let's Go East."
Yes, I was thinking last night that it was "Let's Go Eat," because it was late and everyone was hungry. But apparently it was for the East team.
Scott, that was just me.
that was me, definitely. We were all chanting that down at the table, because it was that had been a long day.
Okay, that was a little bit of confusion down there. It appeared that the jam was starting, but there was a discussion. Oh, yes.
Official timeout. Oh. We're conferring perhaps a penalty should be somewhere.
Yes, I saw a misconduct or an insubordination call. Wow, tripping over my words here. On Dysart. So something must have happened there on that jam line. It could be something verbal. We don't know.
Could be subordination if you hit. I know you're not allowed to hit before the the whistle, or she was off.
She was in the bench. She wasn't even on the line there.
Well. And another brief official timeout as our head NSO, Stat in the Hat, comes over to consult with our scoreboard.
Oh, yeah, it does look like WFTDA on the Twitch chat confirming for us a penalty being assessed to Coach Luna. So, of course, the captain, Dysart, would take that. That was for a delay of game because Coach Luna was on the track. Yes, you can't have that happen. And look who's out there. That's Boomerang, another Boomerang who has been doing a great job being our awesome track taper. It's such an important job because you have to keep the skaters safe.
Yes, all the volunteers here have been wonderful. We've had great work from our practically customer relations, the fan relations team, helping direct people, helping keep all these teams from around the world fed and in place. And Road Rage lead jammer USA East turbocharged, heading to the penalty box for a cut track penalty.
But now we have Road Rage coming up against Speed Bryu.
And getting trapped, Tribal Terror getting bumped out by Enigma to open that lane. 5 points for Road Rage.
Look at how those blockers are split up. It's going to be like weaving through pylons for Road Rage. Although he does trip up, he's able to get ahead of Speed Bryu. Dysart out of the box with a big hit on Road Rage.
And now Tribal Terror freed from Enigma and engaged at the front. A low block called on Tribal Terror, so that will thin the West's pack down to 3.
And we have a cut track assessed to
A
Turbocharge.
second penalty in the jam, and that is 3 in a row.
Oh, but also
Turbo.
a cut track on
What?
Road Rage, so they're going to switch out of the
Road
penalty
Rage just
box.
wanted to keep Turbo company. It's like, man, I'm sorry, you got 2 penalties. I'm just going to hang out with you for a second. Okay, now you can go
I don't
play.
think they barely
Go
even
play
looked at
the
each
game.
other as they switched seats there.
What? Shocking. Tribal Terror also ready to be
Oh.
released. Road Rage now standing. Turbo forced to the infield.
Yeah,
and
those
rolls back. 171 on that shot. That was Gilman, the captain.
and a bit of a spill there over number 120, Evil Apple.
Turbocharged almost out, and boom, there comes
Enigma.
Enigma been bringing the hits all weekend long. That one, Enigma ending up out of bounds, so Turbo finally able to get back up and through, completes the initial pass, but now back engaged and it bouncing off of shoulders.
We do see Gilman from Team USA East holding his side. The jam was not called for that, but
No, that was right where Turbo hit him, right in that side, the illegal hitting area. And down went Gilman, 4 points up for Team US West. A 10-point jam for Road Rage in the East, and Team East calls a timeout.
just some incredible talent we're seeing here, Scott. The level of play, and when I'd say that, I do skate. I do not skate at this level. I will be.
I don't skate, nor do I skate at this level.
But just that track awareness and instinct, and of course the crowd here starting to keep the energy up. It has been a long day of Derby, but a fun day of Derby. But yeah, just the level of play, being able to do those bridges so effectively. We're not hearing no packs called. We're not seeing those failure to reforms or destroying the packs. We're seeing very sophisticated track awareness, pack awareness, and that's sort of what we weren't seeing in some of those other team games today. And that's hopefully what everyone can take leaving this competition.
Yes, and speaking of the penalties, as you were, we aren't seeing those penalties. We are seeing others. Right now, Team West with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 jammer cut track penalties out of 7 jammer penalties overall. Team East has 2 cuts, a forearm and a low block on their jammers. So West only trailing by, 15 points, and they've had 3 or 4 more power jams up against them. So huge defense on both of these teams. None of these power jams have gone beyond, I think, 12 points.
And that's
maybe
a
14.
Testament to the blocking.
Yeah, the defense is strong in these ones.
Yes. And we have Rivas out there with a illegal contact call. That's a power jam for USA East.
And that is number 1031, Floppy Joe.
It'll be interesting to see what our producer Tool Time is able to get in terms of the penalty count at the half. We'll get that information to you.
Very interesting. It is our only second non-cut track jammer penalty on Team West, but the penalty power jam count increasing and 5 points out for Floppy Joe in the East, taking them to a 20-point lead, 71-51.
I mean, look at that edge work and toe-stop work there by Floppy Joe. No!
They're calling the cut. The outside pack ref's eyes on the line.
Spoke way too soon there, Scott.
Look from up here, but we're up here, and they're really close. So Floppy Joe sits.
That releases Rivas.
And Rivas will roll back behind the pack.
And the
Get
penalty.
a little hip check back. Just let's hit. Go ahead, Desnell. I cut you off.
No, I jumped in too soon because I'm all antsy here. Penalty box is on turn 2, so there is an advantage sometimes if that's where the pack is, where it is right now.
Yes, that's true. They can get back super quick, just like Floppy Joe did as the pack had moved around. Rivas helping him out, I guess, by pushing things forward. Speaking of pushing, that's what Rivas is doing at the front with 3 blockers, now 4.
Floppy Joe wondering, hey, isn't that a call? No, you're still in play. No call from the referees there.
The pack's stretching out, and number 71, Sunny Days, moving ahead to try and provide some offense for Rivas. But Rivas just locked up as Team USA East rotating and waterfalling forward, breaking one off to Bridge, and then a final hip check bump out.
Initial illegal call. No, a forearm call on Rivas. And that will give USA East a power start. So we just saw 2 penalties apiece. One penalty.
One penalty for Floppy Joe, 2 penalties for Rivas, 3 total we've had three jammer penalties in each of the last 2 jams. My Sunny Days is a monster, says one of our Twitch chatters, and I got to agree. Sunny Days, all of these skaters are monsters in the good sense of the terms. None of them actually have 3 heads, nor do they breathe fire, as far as I'm aware.
And what we're seeing as well is, of course, when you have one of the jammers in the box, you're able to get an offensive advantage, although it doesn't seem Triple Threat needs the help, able to get by with lead on those 3 West blockers.
Yes, packet 3-on-3 as 1 blocker from each team in the penalty box. I see Toe Jammer for Team West and 101 Ari Cantrell for Team East.
Their ability to stay just flowing so smoothly, the skating skills, Triple Threat getting by Speed Bryu.
And Rivas allowed out and hops over the corner. Did the foot land? Yes, it did, but that is an initial pass after those 2 penalties.
Now he's putting on the speed, trying to catch up with at least 1 or 2.
Will not catch up. I believe that was Enigma making a question to the referee.
He's asking for a penalty on Rivas.
He's asking for a penalty on Rivas. I don't see anything being awarded, and the coach is coming out to say, perhaps we need to move back to the bench. I will take this discussion, as Enigma is not the captain. Can ask questions of the referees, but can't discuss deeply.
Oh, and look at that. Some great sportsmanship between, that's Glisten and Global Storming.
Yes. And Global Storming jamming for Team West. Goes to the ground, spins and spins and spins. I see some pointing, and there's the right pointing, the double whistle pointing. Global Storming lead jammer for Team USA West.
But there is a call
yes.
on Glisten.
Illegal contact call, perhaps, or whatever we're calling the karate chop move now.
The karate chop.
So a penalty to Glisten, now power jam for Team USA West. We'll see how this one goes. The last couple have led to penalties on both jammers.
Ooh,
this
Global Storming getting around those blockers.
Finally able to clear out. We do have 4 blockers on the track for Team East, as Rogers coming back onto the screen and ducking through. Now Global Storming runs past Boomerang. Yes, gets out in front for 5 more. 10 total on the jam.
That's Glisten out on the track again, but the star in hand thought maybe she could create some confusion, but that West line not seeming deterred. That's Bumper Car. She's coming up again with some help there by number 999 Martin.
And that was a penalty assessed to Boomerang and over the middle and out the woods. 14 total on the jam now for Global Storming. That takes US West to 65. And another run for 5 more points. 19 total on the jam.
You cannot set up near any turn. No turn is safe.
That has been proven time and time again this entire weekend. And apparently the line isn't safe either, because he's just going to go on 1 foot and spin through.
We have the straightaway spins and the apex jumps. All right.
Glisten finally works past Dysart to exit the pack, completing the initial pass, and Global Storming puts an end to that party, calls off the jam.
Was there
a
penalty?
Bumper Car being sent to the penalty box. I was looking at Global Storming too. He's like, wait, was that me? No, I'm good. Okay. Thank goodness.
Bumper Car is aging out, but he has just proven to be a force for
these
Team
skaters,
USA West.
Man, any of these aging out, WTDA, MRDA teams, you want a good skater. This is where hopefully you're scouting this show, because, wow.
You should be scouting this show. This is the talent. This is the future here.
26-point jam takes USA West within 7 points. And we have got number 15, Threatening Thunder, jamming against number 106, Unstoppable.
We had perfect screen help there by Enigma from USA East, allowing Unstoppable to get through just a little quicker. Oh, a big apex jump, but a slide into Tribal Terror.
And Unstoppable landed in bounds, but making the slide, and Enigma running into Speed Bryu.
And they gets a helping hand up.
Yes, he does. 3 points up for East.
And how interesting, too, Scott, that as we mentioned, we've got these teams are a mash of East Coast, West Coast teams, and so many of them were competing against one another in the days just before this event. They were beating up on each other in the days just before this event.
Now they have to play nice. I know that it's a different mindset, I suppose, because generally Jarby is fairly cordial competition. Like everybody gets along, and after the game, you're like, all right, this is all fine.
And it's full contact.
And
so
it's full contact. You
all good.
get your aggressions out. You're allowed to hit. Road rage.
And we're seeing that one-on-one blocking just a
And
force.
Road Rage finally clear lead Jammer Team East. Rivas
But being
jamming
held
for
up,
West. Go ahead,
being
Definella.
held up for about 20 seconds. Rivas with a hit out by Martin there from Team USA East.
And Martin roll with part of the rollback now, assuming the kickstand roll as Road Rage rather, who was also knocked out of bounds and rolled back. He is bumped out. Was the run back successful? No, it was not. Bumper car thought they had it, but no, 5 points up for Road Rage.
Just as we can't always see the penalties, skaters can't either. That was a big jump.
And we're going to get
a cut track
and or a low block. One of the two was going to be assessed to Road Rage.
They went with the cut on that one.
Yeah, it was he landed it out of bounds and then slid into another skater. So there's 4 points up.
And Boomerang being released for Team USA East.
So we got a 4-5 jam at this point, and no more lead jammer. Rivas forced out of bounds. And number 101, Ari Cantrell, bumped out of bounds as well, and slowish to get up, but is back up and in play. And Boomerang chasing down the front end. The crowd making some noise about it, but Rivas is clear with a 5-point pass for 9 total.
Now coming up against that wall, Martin trying to get some help with Dysart there, the pivot.
Dysart trying to provide offense, now shifting back to a bridge position, and Rivas.
That is a blocking with the head call. I was just
he was leaning in,
about
wasn't
that,
he?
leaning in a bit too much. You don't even need to have an impact on that. That gives Team USA East a massive power start because it will be a full 30 for Rivas in the penalty box. It's also really tiring, Scott Chicken.
Yes, indeed.
You've just gone
I
so
would believe
long.
it.
Oh, it looks like we'll be starting the second half with that power start.
How do we go through a half?
Time just flew by.
I don't understand how that was 30 minutes. Did that feel like 30 minutes to you? Because it certainly didn't.
Definitely not. We have so much more. Quick thoughts, though, on that first half.
Yes.
Once again, super close. Look at that. Now a 6-point difference. So yesterday, after 30 minutes of play, the teams were 9 points apart.
And now we've got 6 points the other direction.
Yes,
Coaches
the
are
other
going to have a
direction.
lot to talk about at halftime, and we're going to have a lot of stats together.
Yes.
We will be back in 14 minutes and 15 seconds. You are watching the 2018 JRDA World Cup live on twitch.tv/WFTDA. Welcome back to the 2018 Junior Roller Derby Association World Cup final championship game, USA West versus USA East. I'm Scott Chicken, joined by
Death Nella, and we are in the gold medal mashup.
It's crazy. Crazy. You've watched the first half. If you haven't watched the first half, where were you? What were you doing? Were you watching, I don't know, somebody play Call of Duty? Why weren't you watching this? Not that Call of Duty's bad, but come on.
This is way more action-packed. You're seeing people just going so hard, the best of the best in junior roller derby. And I've said this time and time and again, the junior does not refer to their experience level. We're seeing some skaters out there, Scott Chicken, with about 8-10 years experience.
Exactly. Now, I know that Dysart and Threatening Thunder from my home league, Seattle Derby Brats, they've both been skating since they were about 7.
Wow.
Let's look at the a little bit of jammer penalty action. Team US West has had 10 penalties on jammers. US East has had 7 penalties on jammers. If I were Narco, I would say that is 30% of US West's entire penalty count because they've also had, 30 total penalties?
Yes, exactly. 30 even for Team USA West. The people to watch for who are in trouble. Rivas, one of their top jammers, has 4 penalties. Remember, you can only have 7. On the 7th one, you sit it, but then you're out of the game too. Turbocharged, number 7 with 5 penalties. And then a couple with 3, Global Storming, Speed Bryu, Toe Jammer. Then on Team USA East, there were a total of 18. So just look at that difference there, Scott.
That's almost double.
Yes, almost double. So 30 for Team USA West, 18 for Team USA East. So that's a lot of pressure on the West blockers there. People in trouble, that would be Boomerang with 4, but everyone else kept relatively low. Enigma with 3, Road Rage with 3, some of those jammer penalties, and Ari Cantrell with 3 as well.
And we did in that first half have several double jammer penalty jams where jammer on one side would get a penalty, then the jammer on the other would, and occasionally the jammer on the first side would get two. One of those cases, two of those were back-to-back jams where the U.S. West jammers would get a penalty, East got a penalty, West got another penalty. Earlier on in, I think, Jam 5, we had a double penalty for U.S. East and one for West. It is we've been keeping the penalty timers super busy today.
They've been working 5 days straight. The unsung heroes of Derby, the non-skating officials, and I implore everybody, that's the shot of the crowd there, everyone getting settled again, but I implore you, if you are at home, you have a Derby league near you, please get involved. Becoming a non-skating official, a really good way to, A, find out what the heck roller derby is and learn the ins and outs really quickly, but just an incredible asset anywhere.
And we are doing a final gear check. The skaters doing the heads, elbows, knees,
and wrists.
mouth guard, wrists.
All the work.
Clapping. The WFTDA no longer doing gear checks. JRDA kept it because these are underage. It's a children's sport in this case. Up to 18. Some of them are legal adults. Again, if you turn 18 after September 1st, you are eligible for that year's competitive season, JRDA's competitive season, running from September 1st to August 31st. So for a lot of these skaters, as we mentioned, those that are aging out, this will be their last tournament. Some may play, some of the leagues play more in the summer, so they might have another game or two afterwards. I don't know that anyone has anything scheduled in August, but you never know.
You never know. And Scott, one thing that we want to mention is as we head into, or rather out of the halftime now, we're going to see if perhaps the mental game is being addressed. Because when you start seeing those penalties back to back to back, that is a penalty spiral. It's in your head. You start to question things. A number of track cuts. These young athletes are so track aware. Their derby IQ is through the roof. Those track cuts are unnecessary.
Out there, we'll see what the coaches had to say. We've got triple threat jamming for U.S. East. Rivas with the star for U.S. West. Triple threat pushing to the front. Rivas starting off in the penalty box. So a power start for the East and a lead jammer going to triple threat for Team U.S. East. Now triple threat swinging around again as Rivas stands in the penalty box preparing to exit.
And we see that pressure there by Speed Bryu. And there's a back block penalty assessed to triple threat, so he will be in the penalty box, and that's a power jam for Team USA West.
Triple threat with only that would be 2 penalties, I believe, on the board so far, so no problem there from a foul-out standpoint.
But it is a chance for the West to pick up some points. Only 6 points difference in the first half.
Now Rivas is clear of the pack, completes the initial pass, not lead jammer, as triple threat had that before the penalty. Triple threat does lose lead jam with picking up that penalty.
Speed Bryu in the box for Team USA West. That only leaves 2 West blockers out there to the USA East 4 blockers.
Yes, as the little regulator reports to the box shortly after Speed Bryu.
There's only one,
I was going to say we're going full remaining 40 seconds as triple threat is through with 5 and Rivas through with 5. So a pair of 5.
And the ease with which triple threat can now roll by. There is another penalty called.
Penalty on Rivas. So we will go back to power jam for Team East. And as we mentioned earlier, at the beginning of this, as we came in from the half, a lot of penalties, of these jammer penalties being one on each team in the same jam.
Turbocharged, who's doing a good job holding down the front of the pack there, also with a number of penalties against him. And there's still so much derby left. Who knows what we'll see at the end of this. You're only allowed 7 penalties. We don't want to see anyone unable to complete a bout, but...
I got to believe over-under is at least 1 foul out on this game, I would guess.
And we have number 10 in the box. Of course, that's Rivas. That gives Unstoppable a power start, and it looks like the blockers are going to set up on the pivot line, giving Unstoppable that run-up. And he bowls over Dysart. That might cost him.
Well, we'll see if it was a legal hit. Apparently it wasn't. In fact, it looks like a penalty is going to number 12, Ambush Ash, for Team West.
And that was a back block call on her.
So Unstoppable takes a hip from Toe Jammer and goes cartwheeling through the pack. I see a high block penalty called on Enigma as Rivas out of the penalty box and engaged at the front. And meanwhile, the back of the pack, Unstoppable being rolled back by Bumper Car. Dodges around the outside shoulder from Dysart, is able to get past Toe Jammer. Yes. And there is 5 points.
There was a star pass there to Dysart, allowing Team USA West to get back out on the track and, of course, relieve Rivas from that jammer position.
Yes, Rivas now sitting on 5 penalties, 2 more to the foul out there. So that's Rivas and Turbocharged, 2 top jammers for Team West, sitting on 5.
And we're seeing Turbocharged out on the blocking lines more, and that's because of that.
Yes, Turbocharged, 3 of his 5 penalties were for cuts. I don't have numbers. I wasn't tracking the blocker penalties, and we don't have the glories of Ringster available to us in this tournament. If you own a Ringster and you want to come do it for Charity HF some year, that'd be great.
And we have Triple Terror. Is that who I believe?
That is Tribal Terror, number 244.
There we go. All the T's. Tribal Terror.
Jamming for Team US West and his lead jammer, as we've got a jammer Glisten in the penalty box for Team East.
But meanwhile, number 7-9, Little Regulator, gets sent to the box on a direction of play call.
And Enigma also returning to the box. Enigma had just come out of the penalty box and now rolls back in. Tribal Terror threw 5 points up. This is Tribal Terror's first time jamming for the team today. Did jam fairly heavily yesterday in the variety of games.
And that allows some fresh legs, some fresh perspective. Oh,
that's going to be some sort of penalty right there. Yes, indeed, a low block. You can't slide into people, friends.
Now, I know
unintentional.
The floor has been causing some issues, it seems, especially on those turns. Some of these really experienced skaters sliding out.
Yeah, it looked like Tribal Terror was coming around a little too hot, tried to throw on the brakes, and the foot just shot out.
And look at that intense one-on-one blocking. Speed Bryu putting the pressure on Road Rage, but he gets out with a quick hop over Speed Bryu's skate.
A 4-point run with the unearned pass indicator from our jam referee. So 10-4 at this point on the jam as Tribal Terror standing in the penalty box. We got 30 seconds remaining in jam number 3 as Tribal Terror is released. Will return into the camera shot shortly, but right now we'll focus on the work at the front. Road Rage.
We see that bridge by Team West, which allowed Tribal Terror to get by, and a big hit by Boomerang on Speed Bryu. Gotta love those blocker hits on blockers.
Yes. Meanwhile, Norberg slowing down Road Rage, teaming up with Turbocharged. Road Rage does make it through for a final 5 points for 9. 14 up for, that's 16 up for US West. Takes them to 118, 126.
Well, 119 actually. Just ticked up one. Just as you said it, Scott.
Yeah, they've been doing this to me all day.
We are hearing from the Twitch chat that someone had watched Tribal score a 45-point jam in Salt Lake earlier this year. He can jam. Wow. The record in JRDA is a 50-point jam scored by Logan Childs.
That was, yes, I think that's the playoff, or maybe, yes, one of those records. I think I've seen, in a home team game, I saw Turbocharged pick up a 50 once as well. But
I do believe it was a champs record. You are correct.
Yeah. And that's a good record, as is the lead jammer record of Triple Threat, as he racks another onto the list. 4 blockers at the front for Team West. Team East contending with Global Storming. Global Storming hopping on the inside edge, just on that tightrope.
Dysart and Toe Jam are able to put the pressure on to force the call off there.
And we'll see what points come up. 5 points full for Team USA East, Deathnella.
I have a feeling that we are going to start seeing those shorter jams, especially if you're able to retain your lead, because it seems as though these jammers just want to give it away by taking a trip to the penalty box.
And that's rarely a good way to win a game. You know, if you're in the penalty box, you can't really score a lot of points.
They're putting Rivas out there for Team USA West. As we told you, he has 5 penalties right now. Unstoppable out there for Team USA East.
And Unstoppable both stumbling down to the outside, but now caught in the front. Turbocharged teaming up with Speed Bryu and number 71, Sunny Days.
Sunny Days being a fierce blocker out there.
Meanwhile, Rivas is able to get out first as Unstoppable has to roll back behind the pack. And number 171 coming back in. Gilman making his presence known as he fights to the front of the pack. Rivas ducking around.
Get the
and
big
another
hit out.
shoulder out of bounds. Rivas.
That's Hot Wheels with that hit out.
And Gilman returning to the penalty box as well. Unstoppable still on the initial pass, having been recycled at least twice.
Well, it doesn't seem like Rivas is having much more success. Hot Wheels putting the pressure on. Oh, and of course I speak too soon. Gets by with a quick jump out there on turn 3.
And that is 5 points up for Team West, taking them to 124. USA East with 131, a 7-point game. As Speed Bryu returning from the penalty box, and there's 5 more, 10 total on the jam for Rivas. And it's a 1-point game with 21 minutes, 5 seconds to go. This is the gold medal match of the Junior Roller Derby World Cup. We started with 6 teams. We are down to 2.
USA West and USA East.
The battle of the, the coasts, the United States. Not even the coast, because there's people from the middle of the country. What you see, Dead?
Look at that effective. It's not really a tripod. I heard it called a cage. It's not quite a cage. It's a V formation as well, but just that effective fourth blocker there, trapping the jammer in.
That was Boomerang rolling back, but a bit too far, allowing Rivas to come in front. And jam called off.
If there was ever a battle of the blocker and the jammer, Rivas and Hot Wheels are telling that tale that last jam. If there are blockers watching at home, go back when you can, rewatch that jam, because wow.
Yes, indeed. 15-point jam for the West leads us to 134-131. We've got Glisson, number 620, jamming for USA East, threatening Thunder, number 15 for Team USA West. Thunder wearing a flowery cloth skirt today rather than the shiny one she had yesterday. And Glisson says, I don't need a skirt. I'm going to be lead jammer.
Flying by. That is threatening Thunder's signature look. She's been wearing it all champs, all World Cup.
She's been wearing it since she was 7.
There you go.
Just
you know.
the different size of skirt. Often the taffeta tutu.
Oh,
a very good look. An homage to the early days of the resurgence of roller derby. Glisson now pushing against that V formation tripod with the outrigger as Bumper Car offering some offensive assistance for a bit, but then having to break out to bridge.
She gets trapped there by Enigma.
Enigma teaming up with blocker
Evil
to be
Apple.
named. There we go.
Yes,
I'm like,
Evil Apple.
I've tried to look at the screen and we can't see her because they're not on that as we're focusing on Glisson fighting past
The pack
Dysart.
spread out. Wow, big hit there on the inside of turn 4.
And that's what landed Thunder in the threatening Thunder in the middle, and a cut track penalty assessed to Glisson.
This will allow USA West possibly an advantage, but threatening Thunder getting stuck back there, calling on offense. Not really going to get it.
Nope, as Enigma with a hip check, just enough of a bump out, and the rollback from number 171, Gilman.
It looks like they're trying to pick on the pivot instead of providing that offensive help.
Yeah, speaking of pivots, Dysart sitting in the penalty box as Glisson stands. Dysart standing as well. Dysart calling to the team from the penalty box saying, hey, jammer's about to be released. Meanwhile, penalty called. Cut track on threatening Thunder.
And right now we don't see what any of the point totals are for those passes because no one has really cleared through.
It's completed, exactly. We know that Glisson had some points. She did have 5 in the cap before the penalty and or after. Thunder did not complete the initial pass, so a 5-0 run, Deathnella.
That's what we're talking about when we say did not clear through. In the cap, you say, Scott? I like that. It makes it very clear.
I learned that from you Canadians.
Oh. See, Canada's good for something.
Canada's good for a lot of things.
We want to give a shout out to everyone around the world watching the 2018 JRDA World Cup. Thank you for joining us. I'm Deathnella, joined by Scott Chicken. We're having way too much fun watching this gold medal World Cup game.
And there's 17 minutes and 20 seconds of it remaining. Threatening Thunder starting off in the penalty box. Triple threat out front. Your lead jammer, second jam in a row for Team East.
And there's constant cheering in the background. It's almost hard to hear what's going on. We just hear whistles because the crowd going wild. East and West sitting across the track from one another.
And triple threat jumping through for 5 points as Threatening Thunder is released from the penalty box. Thunder going to the hat to grab the star. Now and passing it forward to...
Very quick pass to number 7-9.
That is Little Regulator. And Little Regulator out of the penalty box. Almost got the cap on before the jam was called off.
That's how you do a star pass, Scott. We've seen a number of them at the World Cup, obviously at champs as well, an effective way to shorten, basically to get out so that you can slow the other team from scoring any more points and lapping you. But oftentimes we see it poorly executed, either illegally and you get a penalty, or you do it when the pivot is not in front and able to just quickly get by. Beautiful work there by Little Regulator.
Tribal Terror now with the star for Team West, and number 1031, that would be Floppy Joe jamming for Team East.
Floppy
Tribal
Joe.
Terror cutting the track a second straight, well, not the second straight jam with a jammer penalty for Team USA West, but the second jammer in a row to get a jammer penalty for Team USA West. And Floppy Joe being held up by Dysart with the roll back.
Dysart just showing her veteran years in the JRDA, knows exactly where to be at the right time, recycles up, but looks like Floppy Joe is going to get by Toe Jammer for lead.
And now Team West regrouping, trying to get to the front as East awaits the return of Tribal Terror.
We do see West with a full blocking force out there. Now the jammer back on the track.
Tribal Terror hops the corner. Did the feet stay in bounds? Yes, they did. Not lead, but out of the pack, as is Floppy Joe. Taps the hips with increasing demand and gets the call off.
And we did see that spill there by turn 3. That did cause a low block call on number 1-2 with Team West. That's Ambush Ash. We do know as well that she's aging out, so this will be her last big hurrah in the JRDA, and what a game to be a part of.
148-134 our score, 14:50 to go, and no, that's not time up. That's just a hockey game behind us.
Yes, there actually is some other sport that we don't really know much about.
We don't know how that works. There's icing or something. We are playing on a hockey court, kind of. We just put some lines down on top of it. Out first, Revis, lead jammer for Team USA West, number 206 with the star for Team East. That is Road Rage. Even though the screen says Floppy Joe, it is Road Rage. Revis calls off the jam. No points up for East. The West jam ref checking in with the outside pack refs to see how many people, who was here, who was there, what's going on. We got 3 points up for Team West.
And this game, really, we've barely seen anyone make a lead edgewise in terms of anything that isn't surmountable in one jam comfortably. Team USA East with 148, USA West 137.
And we're into the fourth quarter of play, but Global Storming.
Oh, a cut track.
Got a forearm penalty, I think it was, but either way, it's off to the box for Global Storming. And that takes Global Storming up to at least 4. And a lead jammer for Glisson. As Glisson swinging around out and back, and now gets around bumper car. Toe Jammer gives chase but cannot stop.
Toe Jammer being really effective though, springing forward so quick, just got to the edge of that engagement zone and had to be called off. Dysart with the hit there on Glisson.
Toe Jammer also, as you mentioned, getting to the edge of the engagement zone and not engaging. Being able to know when are they going to say a stop and then not hit is very key. You don't want to get those out of play block calls.
And we have seen a few of those, especially direction of play too. As you notice, a lot of those blockers facing non-derby direction, I'll call it. As my head is a bit of a mess watching Global Storming go around.
4 more points up for Glisson. We did have a late penalty on Enigma. And we have got a 9-0 run, now a 20-point game, 157-137.
Enigma now at 6 penalties. Remember, 7 is when you are asked to leave the game after that, and you can't even hang around your bench. You are escorted out of the area completely until the game is complete.
And this being junior roller derby, they will have a parent come over and escort young Enigma off to D gear, and then I believe they're allowed to sit in the stands, but you can't interact with the team or otherwise affect the play. I believe WFTDA you're sent to the locker room, but first off, we don't really have locker rooms here. And second of all, they're juniors, so we don't want them going off on their own.
And the other thing, Scott, as you mentioned when we were talking about that jammer penalty, I said cut track, and then there was a forearm. There is a hierarchy of penalties, so you're not necessarily going to get called on two things. You are assessed in the sort of order of what's the most severe penalty. That's the one that will be recorded.
Gotcha.
Of course, if they happen in two separate actions,
then that would be two penalties.
That's different. But
yes, indeed.
If it's all in one, it's all in one action.
Triple threat lined up on the jammer line for our next turn as we have an official review. What we got on the Twitch there,
We have
Desnella?
someone saying in all caps, glisten with those spins. Yeah, no kidding. All of these junior roller derby stars being able to use those spins effectively. They don't always work to your advantage, Scott, because if your momentum isn't where it needs to be to propel forward properly, you can end up just tying yourself up with your actions.
There's also discussion of ice cream going on, and I don't know what that's about, but now I'm hungry.
And we're out with Team USA East triple threat.
Triple threat, your lead jammer jamming on the Team USA West side, Speed Bryu with the star for the first time, I believe, in this game. And Speed Bryu not able to keep the feet up and in bounds. That last rollover, the toes touched out of bounds, so Speed Bryu having to get back up and move away.
That's Turbocharge working with Mount Crushmore there to slow down triple threat. We do have Speed Bryu jamming his first jam of the game.
And finally, stumbling, rumbling, bumbling out through the front of the pack.
Hey, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Cut track penalty called on triple threat. So now, power jam the way of US East, or US West rather. East, West, I'm also confused.
If you're following at home, the team in red is West,
yes.
Team in white is East.
If I'm following here, I should probably remember that as well. A forearm penalty sending a blocker for Team East to the penalty box, and 5 points up for Speed Bryu.
Speed Bryu now asking his team to give him some room, but Enigma with a hit out there.
Enigma, as you mentioned, sitting on, we believe, 6 penalties. And pushing towards the front, has to let Speed Bryu go. I think Bryu's trying to maybe see, hey, you're going to hit me again because you're getting close.
And, of course, if you do initiate contact in the clockwise direction, that is a penalty.
Yep, or while stopped. And there's a final 5 point for the power jam as triple threat now out of the pack, or out of the penalty box, and shouldered out by Turbocharge.
You see right now on screen we have Speed Bryu trying to deal with that blocking line of Boomerang Enigma.
And out the other side of the pack comes triple threat, finally picking up 4 points, I believe that is, for Team East. A 5 and a 4 to 9. 3 5s plus a 3 for Team West. 155, 166.
And Speed Bryu only being used now as a jammer, of course, for good concern. We're seeing a number of USA West jammers with pretty troubling penalty stats. But Speed Bryu as well, able to be that powerhouse jammer with the hits and able to take it, because what was he doing all game long so far? Being that blocker.
And we've got an official review called by Team West as Coach Luna was coming out of the box. And I'm like, you just got a penalty earlier for delay of game by walking onto the track. And then then we saw the O come up as time was running down. 10-12 to go in our game.
And of course, those penalties, delay of game, assessed to the captain. In this case, Dysart, who is aging out, so hopefully won't be fouling out.
Yes.
Especially having to do so when you're captain. I've been captain too, and it's one of those things you got to keep your own play really clean, because you're taking the lumps for other people sometimes.
That's right. And to add insult to injury, if Coach Luna did get Dysart for 6th, what is the kangaroo doing?
So Clancy.
The kangaroo is the jammer. That's crazy talk.
So it looks like Clancy is now, that's his name, now
Clancy is part of Team USA East. Well.
Oh, Team Australia.
That's awesome. As I was saying, to add insult to injury, were Coach Luna to get called on the delay of game and have Dysart foul out, Dysart is her daughter, and that would not make for a pleasant flight home.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
I don't think I would want my kid fouling out of a game because of something I did. Hey, if you're enjoying this on Twitch TV, have we got a deal for you? If you're enjoying the Scott Chicken and Death Nella show, we may have a recap coming up in Omaha in a little bit. The WFTDA 2018 Continental Cups will be streamed live on WFTDA.tv. That starts with North America East, coming from Kalamazoo, Michigan, August 17th through 19th, hosted by the Kalamazoo Derby Darlings. Then we pack up and head out to Omaha, Nebraska for North America West, the 2018 Continental Cup, hosted by Omaha Roller Girls. That's August 24th through 26th. I will be there. Defnella will be there. The lovely Gretchen Little will be there as well. And our final Continental Cup heads over to Europe, hosted by Birmingham Blitz Dames, October 27th through 28th. Your watch passes for this go on sale July 31st. That's in just a few days. Stay tuned to WFTDA.tv.
And we do have some people asking questions on the Twitch chat about those penalties. These are all technically, I'm just going to let LB get them going because I can barely think.
Someone's asking how many penalties Rivas has. Is it 5? My count is 5. What's your count?
That is,
we agree?
That's what we have. Now, that is obviously unofficial.
Yes.
But that's by our, esteemed view here. And then also a question about another one with 6, Enigma. Yes, from our count, Enigma has 6. We confirmed it at the half. Enigma having 5. We do believe that we saw him collect that 6th out here on the second half of the game. And
we also have a question about the Kangaroos number. The Kangaroo is sitting on 0 penalties.
And we wanted to hear, or rather we're hearing that anyone who knows Coach Quick, his level of humor is about 5,000. Coach Quick, of course, announcing his retirement just before this gold medal game here at the venue in Feasterville, Pennsylvania. Scott Chicken, what's going on?
So the note from our wondrous producer Tooltime, can you explain this, because I'm not understanding your note. They were asking for an official review about too many coaches on East?
Yes, it was an official review requested by West on too many coaches for USA East. The official review was granted, and they retained their official review.
Well, all right. Well, now Team East, I see, has a blink for an official review. So perhaps they're, I don't know, questioning something similar.
Well, we do have 10 minutes of the period clock still there in roller derby. That does not mean that's all the roller derby left.
No, not at all. Not quite like basketball, where we'll get 15 timeouts and 47 fouls and 13 seconds of gameplay will take 4 hours. But we do have a little more time.
I have to chuckle there, Scott Chicken, because I explained roller derby to my dad, and we get through everything. We get through the track. We get through the number of blockers and jammers. Oh, by the way, Clancy the Kangaroo is being taken around by Enigma, so that's a fun time there. But we get to the point, finish up the conversation, Scott, and my dad says, okay, so where's the ball?
Excellent. And you say, that was a movie. That was rollerball. That's a different thing entirely. There are also no motorcycles involved in roller derby.
What? I mean, I see some of them sometimes parked outside the venues.
Right. Sure, but not actually on the track.
Oh, goodness. And you know what, though? This is why we do what we do, and we bring you the streams. Twitch TV/WFTDA. The crew here, Scott, has been phenomenal. The camera people, everyone behind the scenes working to bring roller derby, flat track roller derby, to your living rooms or to wherever you are watching this.
Coach Dan, FWDB, says, who brought the Kangaroo to the bench? That's probably the too many coaches. Oh. I think we might be able to agree with that. I do not know, however, and Glisson is now jamming number 620 against Rivas, number 10. Glisson pushing towards the front, Rivas spinning around the outside on the edge. Both teams did retain their official reviews after this. I don't know what the East review was, but we will find out shortly.
All right.
Perhaps it was an official review about, is that Kangaroo now an extra skater on the roster, in which case, but I think it was East that had the Kangaroo.
Clancy has been keeping everyone company there in Aussie land. That's turn 4, and a big cheer for Rivas out.
And Rivas, some amazing footwork, as you saw in the corner, just had the toe on the line, hopped around a skater, and threw for lead jammer. Glisson, meanwhile, bumped out and rolled back as Rivas rolled back as well, Deathnella.
Glisson wanting to actually knock Rivas out, so that's why he did this juke as he was approaching or even from behind, and now trying to juke around Enigma.
Enigma, as we mentioned, we think sitting on 6 penalties, and Rivas swings through 5 points. Now in the last jam, I believe we had an 18-9 run for Team West. This jam so far 5-0. Rivas with a hip to Enigma, and somehow keeps his feet. I don't know how that worked, but apparently he's got, you heard about the ghost blocker knocking down the ref. He had a ghost blocker like pushing him to keep him in bounds.
A ghost assist, apparently. And we do have Little Miss Perfect, Evil Apple keeping up that blocking pressure, although Little Miss Perfect in the penalty box.
And now the star pass off to number 171, Gilman. Gilman knocks out Rivas. Rivas says, I'm not doing the run back game. I'm just going to call off the jam. And we're going to have a tie game.
Wow. Now, I'm not even talking about OT. We still have plenty of action. I know, I'm getting ahead of myself because this game is so intense.
Yes, we'll get how that works in 8 minutes and 12 seconds if we're still here.
Now we have Unstoppable out there against Turbocharged.
Haven't seen Turbocharged jam since the first half, as Turbocharged sitting on 5 penalties, we believe, unless we missed one as a blocker. And Turbo steps around the inside edge. Lead jammer, Team USA West.
Unstoppable trying to get by Little Regulator, does that. Now gets by Tribal Terror, knocks down Toe Jammer, now chasing down Turbocharged.
Turbo with the hop over the middle, because Turbocharge also likes to be delivered by airmail. And that gives us a 5-point run, 171-166.
We hear some people on the Twitch chat saying this game is totally nuts. Yeah.
Have we not been saying that since about Jam 2?
Wow. Thank you for joining us as well on Twitch TV/WFTDA. You are watching the 2018 JRDA World Cup. There is going to be a power start for Team West, although that could change depending on how things go in this timeout. But it does appear that the Team USA East jammer is now in the penalty box on a high block call.
And that is, I believe, number 171. No, I see 206. It is still Unstoppable. I thought that we'd had a swap, but maybe I was looking at the pivot before and just thought it was a jammer.
So there we see Coach Teflon Donna chatting with her team and Coach Quick beside her there.
So we mentioned the Continental Cups earlier. I'm going to plug the WFTDA's international playoffs for 2018. They begin August 31st through September 2nd, the Labor Day weekend here in the United States. That will be not in the United States, but over in beautiful A Coruña, Spain, hosted by Aspregantius Roller Derby. We then head to Atlanta, Georgia for our second playoff. That will be hosted by the Atlanta Roller Girls, the autumnal equinox weekend, as Narco like to refer to it, September 21st
yeah,
through 23rd.
I have that weekend circled as
yes.
the autumnal equinox.
And finally, our 2018 International WFTDA Championships hosted by Big Easy Roller Girls, November 9th through the 11th in New Orleans, Louisiana. Tickets on sale now. Head to WFTDA.com/tournaments.
My apologies. That is, I've been corrected. That's Rojo. You're correct.
Yes, Coach Rojo, not Teflon. Thank you, Coach Dan Fwideba.
Sometimes
I'm choosing to pronounce the Fwideba.
Yes.
Oh, the period's over next door. I don't know if that's even going through the headset, but I can hear it myself, so I like to announce the fact that the hockey is going on next door, and Global Storming is lead jammer on the track we're looking at right now.
You know, we're making a lot of noise over here, Scott Chicken, so.
We'll distract the hockey guys. They're like, yeah, they're cheering for me.
And we've got Global Storming putting on a clinic when it comes to how to juke, dip, dive, dance around those blockers.
Dip, duck, dive, dodge, duck. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball, and if you can jump all over the place, then you're Global Storming. And Global Storming in on the second scoring pass now.
But a hit out by the pivot, Gilman, who is the captain for Team USA East, showing why he's in that role. Just a leader out there on the track.
Indeed, Unstoppable stopped for a moment, knocked down to the outside. And Global Storming going airborne again for a second 5-point pass, and we have got a lead now of 181-166. And a slalom course with Gilman chasing, but yes. Did he keep the feet up? Did he not? Global Storming's like, yeah, forearm penalty
on Gilman.
That was a great relaxation by Global Storming. He's like, I don't think my feet came down, but I'm going to watch and see if a penalty was called. If it is, I'm good to go. And it was, and he is.
Sometimes patience is your best friend out there on that fast-moving track.
Only 4 points on that pass, but still it's a 14 run and now 5 on the next. 19 total. Global Storming jumps up and over, and sitting on the track and calls off the jam as Enigma standing over the top.
Now, it did seem that Unstoppable was hoping to do a star pass, but of course his pivot was in the penalty box, and that was you just couldn't do that.
Yes, indeed. A 21-point jam for Team West, 192-166. They have held Team East now scoreless for the last 3 jams. And coincidentally, have had lead the last 3 jams. It's funny how that works.
Look
You
at
get
that.
lead and you don't lose it in a penalty. And sometimes
Is that how
definitely
flat
it
track
works.
roller derby works? That's amazing.
That's how life works. All right, triple threat with the star for Team East. Rivas for Team West. And Rivas is lead jammer, but forced to recycle, Deathnella.
Yes, and that is a good point. We do have a power jam situation. Triple threat sent to the penalty box.
Did not see the call, but it was clearly something against the rules. Cut track, says our fine producer, Tool Time. Thank you, Tool Time.
And Boomerang also sent to the penalty box as a blocker for Team USA East. So now we have a power jam and a pack advantage for Team USA West.
Boomerang now sitting at least 5 penalties as she came out of the half with 4. A nice shoulder from 171, your coach. How about your captain, Gilman?
And we see a cut track penalty assist, a Little Miss Perfect. That was drawn by Tribal Terror, so they're still causing mayhem there for the blockers inside the pack.
And Rivas forced out of bounds to the outside. Triple threat out, power jam over, and triple threat completes the initial pass. Rivas through for a final 5, which is the second 5. I'm like, why did we go to 11? There we go, 10 points. And finally, we're over the 200-point mark.
I was just going to say, we're seeing it is not insurmountable by any stretch,
Not at all.
with these teams, but we are seeing that lead sort of distinguish itself a little bit. For Team USA West, Global Storming is going to go out, so get ready for some big jumps and dancing.
And that is Road Rage, number 206, jamming for East. And now the house getting into it.
Oh, the crowd
as
is
East and West
pumped up in here.
The trick is that both of these teams, USA East and West, have very similar blue-colored uniforms.
Yeah.
One with a red stripe on the side, one with a white stripe on the side. And then we had the red and the white for the off color. And all the fans are wearing the blue shirts if they're not on the game, and it's throwing me off.
Exactly.
I don't know who's cheering for who. It's chaos.
Meanwhile, Global Storming getting caught up there by Gilman and Enigma. Road Rage actually out for Team USA East, and it's Global Storming out first.
We have now got 3 minutes of game time and a cut track penalty. What? Road Rage heading to the box. 2 straight jams with a power jam for USA West. West now leading 202 to 166.
And we have the musical accompaniment of the crowd. Oh, and a big spin around. That's going to cost Gilman. That is a low block call. And another hit. That's Little Miss Perfect. And we now only have 2 blockers, Haley Dubinsky and Enigma out for Team USA
And
East.
Enigma sitting on 6 penalties. Has skated an incredibly clean game this second half, which is astounding to come in with that many. And a no pass, no penalty called on that jump. So 4 points only for Global Storming. 9 total on the jam as Road Rage back out. And Team West running the clock, it would appear. What do you got, Deathnella?
Do have a big hit there. Enigma standing over Global Storming while Road Rage trying to get through Bumper and Dysart, but it's all for naught there.
And it is as Global Storming calls off the jam. 1:57 and counting to go. 2:14, 166 after that 12-point jam. And we're down to not necessarily the last jam, but possibly, if we see what we've seen a couple of times before, of multiple power jams.
And of course, Team USA West now putting Rivas on the line, and we have Floppy Joe out there for Team USA East.
Floppy Joe fights through the inside, gets lead jammer. Team USA East now with the clock under their control, 166 to 214. That's going to take a very sizable jam from Floppy Joe, and Floppy Joe forced to the outside, Deathnella.
And now we're seeing Rivas, star in hand, not really looking for a pass. The pivot's in the back of the pack, now being engaged. That's a little regulator coming up against Floppy Joe, and a toe
someone
stop.
has lost a wheel.
A wheel or a toe stop?
It might have been a wheel, could have been a toe stop. In either case, someone is missing some foot equipment. And jam called off. That was the back left wheel of the left foot of 1031. That is not the way you want to end your jam. Have to call off your jam. At least he was the lead jammer. I got to say that for Floppy Joe, losing the wheel and getting a nice assist off the track from Lil Regulate Her.
You don't see that every day, Scott
You
Chicken,
do
I tell you that much. Yes, toe stops here and there, those go flying, but a full-on wheel And
full-on back wheel slide and
wheel.
just rolling clean off the track. That was crazy.
And of course, whenever there's a an equipment malfunction, that will result in, a stop and play. If it's a safety piece of equipment, if it was a toe stop, you can skate without those. Even though, in modern derby play, it's
Be a
not
little
really
tricky
advised,
to only have one toe stop.
Unless you're just incredible at edge work and you're like, nah, I don't need those toe stops.
I'm good. I'm just gonna play in jam plugs. No worries.
When I started skating Scott Chicken, I was very anti-toe stop because I was scared of it. Now I love it and rely on it all too much.
So Floppy Joe, I believe I saw calling off that jam. But we do have a timeout for Team East, 169-214. Global Storming set to jam, triple threat jamming for East. Handshakes and fist bumps all around, and the fans jumping up and down and crying.
That's Team Europe, by the way, who's singing so loudly, has all the energy coming off of a win to earn 5th place at the JRDA World Cup.
Global Storming forced out of bounds by Boomerang, and Boomerang just playing the one-on-one game like, I'm good. You want to come back here? You are not getting by.
She can just stick to those jammers with a big knockout. She also goes down, though, but Global Storming doesn't catch it and recycles back around Gilman.
Yes, was also run back a bit by Gilman. No lead jammer assessed yet.
But that will be a direction of play call on Boomerang after we were just talking about her exceptional one-on-one blocking. A direction of play hit.
And the unearned pass does not get Global Storming lead jammer, so we do have that available for triple threat, but triple threat forced out of bounds, going behind bumper car, has a long line to get through.
We see a hit out there by number 90 Hot Wheels, forcing Global Storming, who is on a scoring trip through the pack, through. And it looks like USA East is going to keep going, but
nope,
we get
he is
the
going to, yes, triple threat grabs lead jammer, calls off, and that takes us to the end of the game. Time had run off on the clock, and triple threat was clearly, I think, new. Looking at the scoreboard, 169-218. That's 50+ points, and time was, he'd already used half of the jam.
And right now we're seeing everyone. You can see it on screen. Everyone pouring out from the track. The bleachers are clearing to come on down to congratulate Team USA West. A phenomenal game, Scott Chicken. Both of these teams. Can they just play every weekend? Because, wow.
That was good. And Jay, number 100-404, says, West is the best. And then Hawkeye says, what's this? Well, Hawkeye Rock, sorry you were late. That was the 2018 championship game of the Junior Roller Derby Association's World Cup. Team USA West coming back. They were trailing in the first half. They had a lot of jammer penalties. If you were a skater, what do you think the coaches had to say during that timeout? What do you do, or during that halftime? What do you do to get the team to pull their heads back into the game?
A big one is just to breathe and calm down. Another one that we hear often is let the other team play your game. And that's what we started seeing USA West do. They decided they know their strengths. They know that they can stretch those bridges. They know they can take the jammers on one by one, and they allowed that to happen time and time again. Just incredible play and incredible awareness of the sport. The Derby IQ, as I like to say, high on both of these teams.
That it was. So our end of the 2018 Junior Roller Derby Association World Cup, we see Great Britain come in, played their hearts out. They played wonderful games. Unfortunately, not able to come out on the top. They came in our 6th place. Team Europe also came out, fought hard, played great games against everyone. They go out in 5th place. Team Australia traveled the longest way. They had a great moving bit at the halftime where they presented their coach Mama B with a signed jersey for the team in the shadow box. Brought tears to the house's eyes. They come in 4th. Team Canada, I don't know where you go. We see her off the camera now, so we can't see. There's your maple leaf.
My maple leaf. Oh.
Your lovely maple leaf, ladies.
On.
Ladies and gentlemen, come through in 3rd place, and you've just seen Team USA West takes the gold, 218, USA East 169. Deathnella, it has been a pleasure announcing this game with you. I
can say the same, Scott Chicken. What a magical way to end the 2018 JRDA World Cup.
Thank you for watching us on twitch.tv/WFTDA. We will see you in Omaha if you buy their watch pass for the 2018 WFTDA Continental Cups. I got to stop saying JRDA World Cup because that's done now. That's a wrap. I'm Scott Chicken.
I'm Deathnella.
Thank you and have a great evening.